I would love to say that everybody bats 100 when they go into business.
Yeah.
But there are people, even with the best franchise systems, that it doesn't work out. And it could be, they get into the business and they realize they didn't really know what it would take to be successful. Like people will confuse what the business is and what their role in it really needs to be. And sometimes life can change. There's a health problem, there's a divorce. Sometimes big changes in the economy depending on the type of business and when people get started. That can be an influence in
a friend of mine that I met recently purchased a franchise, and it happened to be a sandwich type franchise. I said, "Hey, how are your franchises doing?" He had 2 of them. He goes, "Oh, I ended up closing them." And I said, "Why? Why? I thought they were doing really good." He goes, "Well," we were really expecting to make $300,000-$400,000 a franchise, and we ended up really only making $150,000." And I'm like, "The businesses were making $150,000 and you closed them?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "It just wasn't, worth where we were in life. It wasn't worth our." And I found that to be interesting. Here are these franchises making $150,000 a year, each one of them, and he closed them simply because his expectation and his level was more like $300,000-$400,000. You know what I mean? So you come across people like that, right?
And they're just people that are ready to move on. So at any given time, even in the best franchise systems, there'll be people who are ready to exit or it wasn't meeting their expectations. So it isn't automatically a red flag. You want to investigate it further, but it is normal to expect that to some degree in any franchise system.
I don't care if it's McDonald's or Burger King or any of them out there are going to have some that just fell by the wayside for whatever reason. It might have been location or demographics or whatever the case might be, that they just said, "Hey, we're going to close a few of these." But it doesn't necessarily mean that the franchisor is in trouble or that it's a bad product. Right? Yeah, for sure. So so talk to us. What's the plan? And you want to get 2 more stores going, right?
We do. This current one is a kiosk. So we sell all of our product, which entails 20 different flavors of macarons. And we have gelato, about 8 flavors at a time.
Wow.
He hand makes everything, which is amazing. It's all done by our French pastry chef. So the nice part is that you can kind of pick up a little bit of everything while you're there. So you can pick up some macarons, you can pick up some eclairs, some Napoleons. My second location, we're looking at actually going a little bit off of the beaten path, which is we're developing a brand new outdoor kiosk that will be placed at Avalon.
Wow, very nice.
So we are working on that one. It's a brand new design. We're working with the owners of the franchise as well as their team.
And this is one that's
this
never
one
been
has not been
rolled
done yet.
Wow,
yes,
very
this
cool.
one has not been done yet. So we are hoping to get open at the beginning of next year.
Wow.
So
Very
fingers
exciting.
crossed. This one will be just macarons only. So just a kind of quick pick me up as you're walking around outside. And then hopefully our third location will be that full sit down French cafe.
Very cool.
Yes.
Very cool.
We're excited about
that. And
that.
it sounds like you're off and running on the planning of those other franchises already, the franchisees already, right? I mean, that's pretty exciting.
We are cruising along, hopefully.
Yeah. So you're not looking to say, okay, well, let's see how this first one does, and then a year later we'll maybe think about another one. And
no, we're kind of just going. We believe in the product.
Right.
I think the product speaks for itself. The company is fabulous, and I love that it's family run. And it's nice because you don't feel like you're a number. So there's about 50 to 60 franchises versus 150 or 350 or 1,000. So it's easy to pick up the phone and talk to the pastry chef, to talk to the franchise owner if you have a suggestion or a comment or a question. So it's been a really positive experience so far, so we just want to keep it going.
Great. And this early on, Leslie, it's very important that this first generation of franchisees do well for a company like this, right? If you've got 50 or 60 or 70, that's going to really be the tell-all and the stepping stone to get to the 150 or the 300 or 1,000 franchises nationwide, right?
Right, which is why the franchisor, it's critical that they're on it and they have a plan to support their growth. That's actually an interesting example. Sometimes people feel like if I own a business through a franchise system, I have no creativity, there's no room to innovate. I hear that, but this is a great example of finding a new way to approach the business that hasn't been done before. And that's actually more the norm than not, where it's a combination of franchisees and the franchisor teaming together to find new and creative ways to keep expanding their brand.
That's right.
And their business, which is really
It
cool.
Really is.
It's been a really great experience with them. And what I love is we were able to partner with a local chocolatier. So instead of doing what all of the other franchises are doing, we just decided I wanted somebody local. It would help me on the publicity side. I think she's already got a great following, and it's right here in the backyard, and so she can participate.
And what does she do? What is she bringing to the table?
So she is her company is Jardy Chocolates, and she's here in Chambly.
Right.
And she is just her own chocolatier. She's a small business. This is her first retail outlet.
Okay.
Here in outside the perimeter, as she would call it, OTP.
Yep.
So it's just something new, and I feel like we're helping her, and she's going to help us.
So when you go to your kiosk in North Point, you can
purchase her chocolates.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's interesting because there are some franchises out there that say, we have to have final say on whatever you sell at your location. So it sounds like you've got some flexibility there to be able to do that, right?
And that's another benefit for joining a brand on the younger side of things.
Right, because they're willing to try some things.
The playbook is not completely written yet. Some of these, maybe it makes sense to partner with someone locally on this aspect of the business. That is one of the benefits of getting in early, is you have more say-so, you have more access to the top.
That's right.
And it's not fully baked yet.
That's right. That's right. What did you learn going through this whole process? For the people that are watching right now, as you know, our audience is made up really of small business owners, entrepreneurs, and those that are thinking about opening up a business. What are some of the things that you could share with us in this process from the time that you and your husband said, we want to open up a business, we want to do something in the world of franchising or otherwise?
It was scary.
Scary, sure. That's
no, honestly, he and I had talked about, he being my husband, and I have talked about starting our own business. The scary part came into, well, what are we going to do?
Right.
I think that, and I would recommend, work with someone who knows a little bit more than you, because you just don't know everything.
That's right.
And I think that was really the key for me. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know what we were getting into. And if you're even looking at a business of your own, or you step into the franchise world, there are millions out there. I mean, where do you even start?
Right.
So for me, that was a big deal, and I was very specific in what I wanted. I wanted happiness. How do you sell happiness? I didn't even know where to start. I kept saying ice cream, didn't I? I kept saying ice cream is happy.
Right. Ice cream is happy.
Ice cream is happy. We kept going back to that, and my husband, on the other hand, was like, the numbers have to make sense. You know, so it was kind of not a push and pull, but it was a tug of war, meaning I don't know where to go.
Right.
So I think that was the biggest deal, was really, I recommend to anybody out there, get someone who knows something more than you.
Yeah, it's good advice.
And that could be in marketing, and that could be in franchise sales. It could be in anything, but everybody, there are so many people out there that just know more than you do alone.
And what's neat about Leslie's business and what she's done for other franchisees that have gone down this same road is that you don't end just at the time that the franchise closes and they say, here's your franchise. She can help you with so many other resources, right? To
Absolutely.
say, oh, you're going to need an attorney and you're going to need an accountant. Well, maybe not in your case an accountant, it's your husband. But all of those standard things that people need, that they say, okay, now we're going to open up a business. We've purchased the franchise. All of these other things come into play, right? And you've got all those resources, right?
She does.
Funding, accounting, legal, and I love to come to your grand opening.
And she comes to the openings. She's totally supportive. Yes.
That's awesome.
We do. We called you for a lot of things. I mean, things like insurance, even. I mean, we got referrals on all kinds of stuff.
And if you had to do it all over again, no regrets in any area?
No, not at all.
Yeah, wow.
No, so far so good.
That's great. And you'll do parties, you'll cater parties for something like this, corporate events, if somebody, or corporate gifts, which is a huge industry, right?
It's a huge industry, yes. Yeah. We can do party favors, little tiny ones in a box. We can label them with your ribbons or your business cards, anything like that. We do wedding towers, we do baby reveal towers. Wow. We can pretty much do anything that you can creatively come up with.
And how do they catch you on the Facebook page?
You can find us at Macaron Alpharetta.
Macaron. I love the way she says that. Macaron. Wow. Well, Lisa from Macaron and Leslie Kuban, thank you so much for joining us on the Atlanta Small Business Show. I love when you come in because you bring such great, happy franchisees that are so excited about their business, and it really is a great way to start a business, isn't it? Because you've got a proven formula and a little bit of hard work and support, and you're off and running.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. So thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank
for having
you.
us.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching Atlanta Small Business Show. ASBN is a part of the JBF Business Media family.